Yes, indeed. We are in. We are back. The draft is over. All 7 rounds have passed. Coach H locking in. Wishing everybody a great weekend out there right now. And getting ready to start the week refreshed. Hopefully, everybody. Hope y'all again had a great weekend. Lots of action in the NBA, NHL, and of course, can't forget the MLB. But the biggest action of the weekend for me personally, and for probably a lot of us all out there, is was the NFL draft, and I think that I speak for many Eagles fans out there. We had ourselves a sensational draft, and I can't express enough how proud I am to be a fan of this team. How happy I am with what Howie Roseman and Co. Were able to do for all 3 days, especially in the seventh round. We got some really good UDFA's as well. Surprisingly, so many guys that I feel personally were undervalued in this draft for whatever reason. But we got a lot of really good players coming in, competing, trying to leave their mark uh, on the front office, on their teammates, potentially long term. I think that again, the job that Howie Roseman has done, he didn't just set up this roster for this season. He set it up for seasons to come. You think about where the players were drafted, how they got them. Jalen Carter again. We've mentioned this on previous episodes. Him falling into Philadelphia's lap at 9, basically. Howie Roseman trading away peanuts and the number 10 pick that they originally had to go and get Jalen Carter, who, in my opinion, was the top 3. Lock him in at top 5 for sure players in the draft. He slid because of things that don't necessarily revolve around making impact plays on the football field. But you could really feel the energy on Friday night. Then we go and get Nolan Smith, his teammate, the same teammate he's been with the last 2 years, making those impactful plays to help lead the Georgia Bulldogs to another BCS championship in as many years. Being on the same team and getting back reunited, not just with Jalen Carter, as he calls JC, but JD in Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, and the surprise pick for me, honestly, of the draft was us getting Killy Ringo. I mean, I was on the line texting a lot of my buddies and just and hyping up the train that excuse me, that we were gonna get Keely Ringo, and they were hella surprised, that I came up with that. But like, no, we already got Smith, we already got Carter, we don't need Ringo. We want to went ahead and signed Greedy Williams to a 1 year deal. You know, we got Bradbury back, Slays back, Maddox is still there, strong in the slot, one of the better players in the NFL at that position. We don't need Akili Ringo, but that's the thing. When you feel like you don't need a player, is when you need the player, right? Depth in the NFL is so hard to come by. Solid depth is so hard to come by in the NFL. So when you get an opportunity to go out and get players that make you better instantaneously, I'm telling you, some of these guys that I'm going to talk about here in the UDFAs. Excuse me, I'm just checking through some messages here and trying to find this article that I had. I was reading earlier today about one of these prospects. Um, just incredible, man. Just incredible, incredible draft. Keely Ringo rounding out the day of Georgia players that we have gotten in the last 2 years from that championship defense, uh, built up and created and orchestrated by one Kirby Smart on our team. The saying right now is the Philadelphia Bulldogs. You could take that for what you will. Expect those T-shirts to be flying off the shelves come summertime. It's gonna be amazing. Um, and then we go ahead and get Sidney Brown, one half of the Brown brothers. Um, his brother ended up going to the Cincinnati Bengals. He kind of reminds me a little bit of a Giovanni Bernard, just maybe a little bit shiftier. He can come in the NFL and be a Giovanni Bernard, and before his career is over, maybe even turn into a Matt Forte. We don't know. Matt Forte was pretty nice in his heyday when he was around. For the youngins who don't know, go ahead and check out Matt Forte highlights on YouTube, and those plays will tell you all you need to know. But great draft, great work by Howie and Co. again. Um, really nailing, the picks and bringing in the guys that we can really build on in the future. I want to talk a little bit about some of these UDFA's and the impact signing of Kelly Ringo, ultimately creating a lot of depth for us. Being able to compete at a high level. If a guy ends up going down for whatever reason, we can move a lot of pieces around. Greedy Williams is a guy who a lot of people are saying that he may be able to come in and give us a CJ Gardner Johnson type of player on the field and be able to be playing both on the back end, inside the box, provide a little bit more in terms of run support from the defensive back position. I like that a lot. I like our chances in being able to mold him now in Sean Desai's defense, coming over as defensive coordinator. Jonathan Gannon moving on. We wish him well, but I'm more excited with what we have to work with, not only in the prospects, but the new defensive identity that we're going to be adapting under Desai. And we also have Matt Patricia coming in. He's going to be working as a defensive specialist. I guess really just going to be getting into the details of the defense, helping those guys, get everything ready for the start of the season. But it's really amazing what we were able to do with some of these UDFA's. Eli Ricks, formerly of LSU, went to Alabama last year, really put on an amazing tape. This guy's an absolute stud. I thought that his grading and how they lined him up was a bit unfair. But I mean that's what you have to expect because of the simple fact that there's so many other prospects there. There's going to be narratives drawn by the pundits, the writers, executives, guys who are working in a scouting department. Every team is going to try to control their narrative and get the player they want by any means. So if they got to throw up a smoke screen here and there to go ahead and do that, they're going to do that. And I think that when you have that type of mindset, it's just like you being on the field as a player. Everybody on the team within an organization has a role to play, and the Philadelphia Eagles front office did an amazing job. Again, when you think about who we were able to get and how we were able to get them, I'm so excited for this season. I'm so excited for the way that the camp is going to roll out. We might have some surprises in training camp too. I don't think we're done. Honestly, I think there's a few more pieces for sure that the Eagles are going to want to take a look at. One of them is going to be on the defensive side of football. I want to see what Derek Barnett is going to do. A year removed, coming off of a major injury, the ACL tear. We had signed him to a 2-year deal, team-friendly 2-year deal for a player who was positionally drafted in the first round. Hasn't lived up to the hype in terms of what he's capable of and what he should have been capable of coming out of school, out of Tennessee. So we still got a lot to do, a lot to go back on. But I think it's really important to know that depth is on our side, and whether it's on the PR, the final 53, I feel really good about this team, really good about the direction of it. Can't wait to see what everything looks like once it's all said and done. Once we go out there and start camp and get these guys in pads and see how it all shakes out when the competition is up. But you take a look again at how he did in the draft last year. Big blockbuster trade. Went ahead and got A.J. Brown from the Tennessee Titans, brought him in, immediate contributor. He was able to do a wonderful job, and it's amazing again because the league is such a copycat league, and it's so competitive now with the parity and how the cap is really lining things up. And and creating that mid-range advantage for every single team to have an opportunity at signing or drafting their next superstar. Um, how the Eagles draft class came in 2023, I can't. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like somebody pinch me because I still think that I'm dreaming. And it's you know I'm gonna be obnoxious. I'm gonna be obnoxious. A plus draft. Even NFL executives are getting mad at how much praise Howie is receiving. I appreciate you, Z. I feel like you know what? I'm gonna be here on the record right now, and I'm gonna say it. A couple years ago, I felt like I was on my way out. You know, um, the drafts that we had from 2019 going up to 2021 were there was a lot left to be desired. The biggest one for me is passing up on Justin Jefferson and taking Jalen Rager, who coincidentally is now on the same team as Justin Jefferson. We'll wait and see if he's going to stick around after them going out and getting Jordan Addison out of USC. But that pick was unforgivable, man. Unforgivable. JJ Arcega Whiteside, not even around anymore. This guy just came in. He was supposed to be some sort of prototypical Mike Evans. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. He was a special teams maven at best. And I think that, like, when I talk about it and I think about what we gave up to get him, and what came out of it's just disappointing. You can't afford to mess up surefire guys that are going to come in and they're going to be immediate contributors on your team. You just can't, and how he learned from that, I think that he's grown a lot. I think that with everything that he's been able to accomplish and prove to everybody out there, you got to be excited, again, about the direction of this football team, how far we've come, where we're trying to go, and just proud, just super proud, and can't wait again to see what we do. Big name UDFA guy that we went ahead and picked up, Joseph Ngata out of Clemson. This guy had superstar written all over him when he was coming out of high school. Terrific athlete. Went back and committed in 2018. Had himself a bit of a downpour at Clemson. Quarterback play was very spotty after Trevor Lawrence left that first year. Injuries too have played a role in Joe Nagata not being able to fully show what he can do, especially when you're playing behind the likes of a T. Higgins and Justin Ross. Again, injuries, spotty quarterback play from DJ Ugliagle. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that name properly. Who has now since moved on from that school of Clemson, that is, no longer plays. The Eagles are so high on this guy that they went out and guaranteed him $230,000, $200,000 guaranteed, and he's going to receive a $30,000 signing bonus to be on this team as an undrafted free agent. Look, man, that's not a bad deal. You come in, you're secured, you get a bag. If it doesn't work out, you still have time to go and pursue your dream elsewhere. It's about security. It's about showing what you could do at the next level. This guy's got amazing size. Came in really young and was already more developed ahead of guys like Mike Williams, again, T. Higgins, Justin Ross, in terms of his physical size. The coaches, Dabo Sweeney, is on record saying that, and it just, for some reason or another, did not pan out. It's unfortunate. Again, a guy who really slid heavily, and then he came into the draft. But again, amazing measurables for a former 5-star wide receiver. He just incredible for us to be able to pick up Eli Ricks, as I mentioned before, from Alabama. Went to LSU, transferred to Alabama. So he's played in the SEC. He's seen elite competition across the board in his collegiate career, and now gets a chance to come and compete on our roster that's already loaded with talent, to say the least. And Jaden Hazelwood. Look, I went back and I checked the tape on this kid, and I'm telling you right now, 6'2", 215 pounds last year at Arkansas. And it's worth noting that he played with Jalen Hurts in 2019 when Hurts was the Oklahoma Sooner quarterback prior to him coming into the NFL draft in 2020. So they have some familiarity there. There wasn't much production from Hazelwood in his time in Oklahoma, which is why he opted to leave and then go to Arkansas. Had an amazing season last year, 59 catches for 702 yards, 3 touchdowns. A couple notes I just took down watching film with him. Strong running ability after the catch. I mean, for a guy his size, being able to move as well as he does, get around guys without even making contact or allowing them to make contact on him is quite the sight to see. We have another big-bodied receiver, a dominant big-bodied receiver, who was a second-team All-Pro by the way of AJ Brown. So how he's being specific with what he wants to see on the field from his players. And I think that he's done a really good job, great job, working with Coach Sirianni and putting this roster together, or revolving obviously around the culture that they've built over the last few years. I think that it stands to take notice that the Eagles are definitely one of the top teams in the 2020 era so far. When you take a look at the success that they've had over these last 2 seasons, now going into the next 3, I think their Super Bowl window is wide open for the next few years, at least the next 5 years. We got to be, if they keep drafting like this, it might be the next 10 years. You know what I mean? And I told you I was going to be obnoxious. I told you I was going to be obnoxious today, so I'm not letting that down. But yes, Jaden Hazelwood, again, extremely physical, a guy that really gets after the football, doesn't allow for anybody to stand in front of him and make a play on the ball. And if they do, he's for sure going to have something to say about it. He's a guy that doesn't shy away from contact. Again, you look at the numbers: 59 grabs, 702 yards, 3 touchdowns. Doesn't jump out on you, but watch the tape and watch what he brings to you in terms of effort, in terms of the speed that he has for a guy his size. Can really run. He's going to be pushed. He's going to be in a great room with guys like AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins. You don't know what's going to happen with him, but for sure he's going to get pushed to come ahead and do his job to continue to secure that slot position for us. But a lot can be said about the guys that we brought in. There's other guys as well. We went ahead and got a tight end. More on him tomorrow. For my 3 bottom UDFAs that I really, really like. So Joe Nagata, Eli Ricks, and Jaden Hazelwood. We're going to have more analysis tomorrow on a couple other UDFAs. Still doing my homework on a couple guys that I didn't really know about, but I'm excited for. The draft, again, getting Keely Ringo, adding him with his UGA brothers and bringing that culture to an already strong culture in Philadelphia and having the veterans that we do. The defense is just this is going to be something special again this year. We had 70 sacks last year, and 4 of those guys responsible for 40 of them combined are coming right back. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about our prospects in pushing again, contending to get to the NFC Championship game, and perhaps even punching a ticket to the Super Bowl. We don't know, but it's a possibility. It's a strong possibility with the way that we're drafting. So. Yeah, again, tomorrow we're going to dive into a few more UDFAs. Just to pass off a note here on DeAndre Swift. It was a 4th-round pick that he was traded for 2024. So next year, the Lions will be getting a 4th-round pick from us. And with all the movements that we've made, we made some room for ourselves and really allowed ourselves to expand a little bit. I think that it gives us great flexibility to maneuver a little bit more next year. But I really like the DeAndre Swift trade, and you take a look at who we already have in our running back room. We went on and got Rashad Penny. He's coming off the ACL. A lot of people are saying that he's not going to be ready for week 1. Maybe, maybe not, but it makes you feel good when you get a DeAndre Swift, a guy who could do both, run the football extremely well, run it with just a mean streak, and catch the football out of the backfield. In the red zone, he was deadly for the Lions whenever he was available and on the field. If we can find a way to really get him to stay healthy, I think he's going to have his best season. as a pro with us with this offensive line underneath the guidance of again when Nick Sirianni, Marcus Brady taking over for Shane Steichen, who's now gone on to greener pastures in his words. Excuse me, not in his words, but in my words. He's gone on to greener pastures for himself and his family, as he's been named the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And I think that what we got right now is that continuity. A lot of players, when they get into a situation, they wanna know that they have something stable. You know, a guy coming in signing a 1 year deal, prove it deal, if you will, wants to know if there's some stability. So opportunity for him to come in, learn, really produce at a high level, and then perhaps make a case for himself to get a second contract with that same team, right? So it's going to be a very good thing to see DeAndre Swift again, Rashad Penny, Kenny Galladay. Excuse me, no, so I'm sorry, Kenny Gainwell, our third running back, receiving back out of backfield. We have big plans for him. Howie Roseman has spoke glowingly about him. Nick Sirianni loves him too. And then we have Trey Sermon, a second round draft pick from the San Francisco 49ers out of Ohio State. He was picked up early last season, excuse me, before he got into camp. Didn't pan out over there in San Francisco for some reason or another. You see what Eli Mitchell has been able to do with them acquiring CMC. Look, they had to ship out Raheem Mostert for a reason. So you take a look what San Francisco was trying to do and where they were going with their teams, and I feel like that's very important for us to discuss. NFC East, we're going to talk divisions really quickly. I'm going to be doing this for the rest of the week, starting with the NFC East. I think I just want to put things in perspective after the draft here and what my expectations are, what a lot of people are going to be looking at between the Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commanders, Philadelphia Eagles, and of course the New York Giants, who are going to be there as well. I like Philly. I like Philly's chances to not only win the division, but secure a spot in the NFC Championship game. If all works out and we have healthy bodies, this defensive line is going to be an absolute behemoth, a force to be reckoned with in the league this year. I don't want to put no bad juju or no overblown guarantees, but with what we have and the depth that's already in place, man, I'm BG, Fletcher Cox, Derek Barnett, hopefully coming back off the ACL injury. We'll see what he'll be able to give us. I'm sure he's been sitting at home licking his chops, watching these guys get after the pass rush, and he's gonna have something to say about it. Still has some time on his contract. Jordan Davis with a year under his belt. You think about Milton Williams and what he'll be able to bring to the table for us as well. Josh Sweat, Tyron Johnson, he'll probably get an opportunity to start playing up in the outside linebacker position. Nakobe Dean, we brought over the linebacker Darren Morrow from Chicago. Was a great pickup for us. I think he led the team in tackles, over 100 tackles, up there in the NFL league leaders in tackles. We went ahead and signed him. We kind of did the same thing with Kaiser White, who played for the Chargers the year before when we brought him in. He was just a really good, solid player who came in and contributed and did what he had to do. And now he's out there in Arizona doing his thing. Kaiser White, appreciate you for what you did. But I really like Philly to lock up the division. Followed underneath the Giants. I think the Giants are going to surprise me. The Giants were the team last year that really gave us a push. Dallas did as well without Jalen Hurts. Well, don't forget that Gardner Minshew replaced Jalen Hurts while he was out with the shoulder injury for a couple of games. They ended up losing him, and both games that Gardner Minshew played resulted in losses for us. So worth noting that Jalen Hurts, missed a couple of games, and we're asking to see if he'll be able to come back and play. Nevertheless, I like Philly at 1, the Giants at 2. Give me Dallas at 3 and Washington in the basement again. Expected to have Sam Howell as the starter. We'll see when it's all said and done. Maybe Washington is inclined to bring somebody in. There was a time too that I felt that the Washington football team, Commanders. I love the football team name more than the Commanders. But there was a time that I felt like Washington was going to go ahead and try and trade for Lamar. I thought that if he went there, with the likes of a Curtis Samuel and sorry, Terry McLaurin, excuse me. Jahan Dotson, who came in from Penn State, was a really, really good player for them right out the gate. If Logan Thomas can stay healthy, they got a really good contributor from a tight end position. So, as much as I really like their chances, my predictions is that the Eagles will win the division at 12-4. That's my prediction. Excuse me, at 13-4. That is my predictions for Philly. Without seeing the schedule, I think they can win 13 games this year, especially with the continuity factor, getting a lot of those players back. Yes, they did lose some key guys, but they drafted well. They signed the UDFAs. These guys are going to contribute. So give me Philly, Giants at 2. You know what? You know what? I'm going to change my pick right here, and I'm going to put Washington at 3 and Dallas at 4. Philly, Giants, Washington, Dallas in the basement. I don't think Dallas did enough in the draft. I always like Brandon Cooks. I don't think he's going to be the deciding factor to get them over the hump. But fortunately, there's rumors that Zeke may still be able to come back. They have not gone away from adding to the running back position. They did go ahead and pick up one of the front office members of the Dallas Cowboys football team this year. They went ahead and picked up a really, really good player and brought him in. I think that he's going to be able to contribute right away. From Kansas State, his name is Deuce. Sorry, I don't have a Hembo, so I'm Dolo. I'm Dolo, but I know the direction. Deuce, Dallas Cowboys. Whoop, 1 second. 1 second here. I actually really like this. This was a good pick for Dallas. Good player as well. Strong running back. Not the biggest dude, but really tough where it counts in the heart. Just he's going to give you everything he's got. So really, really short, powerful, packs a punch, short, stocky guy. But I think that he'll be adding something. I don't know. I just feel like Dallas is going to really slide off this year. They lose Kellen. They lose Kellen Wins. Kellen Moore. They lose Kellen Moore. He ends up going over to the Chargers as their new OC. So when you take a look at that, it's like, okay, that's a pretty good pickup for them from an offensive standpoint. Coordinators Deuce Vaughn from the Kansas State Wildcats. He's joined the running back room for the Dallas Cowboys, along with Tony Pollard, and perhaps maybe on a team-friendly deal, Ezekiel Elliott will be returning if no one else needs his services. So give me Philly, give me Washington. Excuse me, give me the Giants, give me Washington, and give me Dallas to finish in the basement this year. I think that there's going to be a change on the horizon for the Cowboys very, very soon. Mike McCarthy is all in. He'll be calling the plays. It's going to be his offensive vision right now. So I'm not complaining about it. But the NFC East, that is what I'm calling out for the division this year. Tomorrow, we'll visit the NFC South. We'll talk a little bit about the NFC North. We got to get into the Detroit Lions. Their draft was really good as well. Bit of a head scratcher when they went up and they drafted Jamar Gibbs. But, hey, they knew what they were doing. We got blessed with a guy that, they pretty much said, you know what, I think it's time for a change here in DeAndre Swift, and I'm very excited that he's on our team. One man's loss is another man's gain, and I think that Swift's going to do something special for us this year. He's got a lot of supporters around him in Kenny Gainwell, Rashad Penny. Hopefully he'll be healthy. Boston Scott, always a solid guy for us special teams, as well as on a third down back. And maybe even Trey Sermon. Maybe we keep him. Maybe we keep him around. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have 5 running backs on your roster if you can find a way to fit them all there. Get a guy to play special teams here. Get a guy just to get him stashed on the PR, and we'll see how it goes. And that's going to be it for tonight. Again, really good draft by my Philadelphia Eagles. Super excited. Can't wait to see what we got on what else we got in store. It's going to be a very interesting summer to say the least. This is Coach H, aka H the Man, signing out live for Real Talk Sports. Hope you lock in for us tomorrow with more coverage. Stay tuned. We're gonna have joined in links on the Twitter and Instagram, so you'll be able to lock in and keep it locked in with yours truly from then and beyond. So keep it locked. Everybody stay safe. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace and love. Peace.